It's early morning at Hovgard, and we just realized that it's been snowing tonight. Well, we saw that yesterday evening, as a matter of fact, but what happens then when it's snowing is that you get snow on the solar panels. So now I need to get that snow off so we can get some power. We are very self-sufficient with renewable energy due to our solar panels. And this is pretty much the winter harbor of Northern Light, Swedish boat that was here in the winter between 91 and 92. Okay, let's get this solar panel fixed up here. So this is one of the more exciting things about taking a night harbor in Antarctica. All of a sudden, even if you think you're more or less absolutely safe, there is a big chunk of ice, a big roller coming right into your anchorage. Now it's okay, the worst is over, I think. So let's get focused on the other line here. Well, one of the worst things that can happen is actually that a big chunk of ice parks on your anchor chain, and if that is not moving away from your anchor chain or your anchor, you're in some serious trouble. Worst case scenario is that you have to cut your chain to come loose, and that's something we definitely don't want to do. Tomorrow is going to be no wind, and then the day after is going to be wind from the opposite direction. Right now we have a southwesterly, and on Saturday, that's 2 days from now, we are going to have a northeasterly, a very strong northeasterly. So we have two options here. We could stay here and wait for that northeasterly to blow over, or we could use the calm tomorrow to move further south. But then we have to make sure that we have a safe anchorage for Saturday when the next blow is coming. Oh, that's a bunch of gentle penguins jumping. Well, you can see a typical gentle penguin colony. They're nesting up on the bare rocks and walking up these paths up the snowy hill. Then they have their haul out station here where they get in and out of the water and get themselves cleaned.
Yeah, they're clean going up and very dirty going down.
Yeah, they have all this poop. This is a nice colony, a lot of different levels, a nice view over the iceberg cemetery we passed yesterday. That is just outside here. I don't know how much they care about the view, but it's still a view.
I don't think they care so much about the view.
You don't?
No, I don't. But we do.
We do.
Yes. So beautiful. Now it's the 26th of January, and we're out for a little trip. We will see if we'll get any further south.
It depends on the ice situation. It's getting more and more ice here the further south we go. But we will make a run for it and see what happens. It's a beautiful day. Sun is shining. There is almost no wind. It's an amazing day, an amazing morning. Look at the mountains over there on the other side of Hovgard.
spectacular. Ice, ice, ice. Everywhere is ice.
Well, welcome to another beautiful morning in Antarctica. There's a lot of the ice here this morning. Now our beautiful protected anchorage here between Hovgard and Oleg Island. A little bit different from when we arrived. Ice is drifting slowly straight through this little sound. So we got company.
Let's see. It's our new boat.
So we are going to take a little short walk here, go up on the Hovgard Island northern shoreline, get some view and check the ice situation. Up there is a little skua sitting on the rock, and further up there's a little rescue box left here some time by someone. We checked it out the other day. It's actually some canned food inside. There was a jerry can with diesel, but I'm afraid the diesel is no more. It was a steel jerry can and the diesel has disappeared. Susan is coming along.
Come along, come along.
Oh, like you can see, there's a bit of ice.
Yeah. And there are the penguins! The penguins!
It's a skua keeping watch, checking the terrain. There might be some prey, something to eat. So here is an interesting situation. There's been a avalanche, a miniature avalanche, where we have one of our bow shorelines. So it's kind of the attachment point is now stuck under this massive amount of snow and ice. But it's probably gonna sit there pretty tight when it's blowing tomorrow like crazy, and then we see what happens when the tide is coming up and hopefully flushing away most of the snow and ice. So how is it?
Hard.
Hard.
We need your machete.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, I broke this.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. So what do? You take 3 dinghies and you just try to move the iceberg. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, we had a really rough day today with a lot of ice coming in here. And yeah, it doesn't end, if you say it like that. So we spent some days in Antarctica, waiting out some bad weather and hoping that the ice situation would be better. So we're on our way north right now and pushing through the ice. And the ice is really compact. So Sea Winch is working her way through the ice.
We have had COVID on this ship for the last 11 days. Unfortunately, we got COVID from another crew, and we've been pretty sick now for well, like I said, for 11 days, just over a week, so 2 weeks as a matter of fact. But we are slowly getting a little bit better. The fevers are gone. On the other hand, we've been hit by a storm here now, so we've been moored here at Alice Creek in Port Lockroyd for well, soon 3 days, and it's been blowing between 30 and over 50 knots. It's been terrible. The Port Lockroyd personnel called us on the radio this morning and was just checking in on us and asking how we were doing, and they've been down here for 3 seasons, and this is the worst weather they experienced in 3 years, so that says a lot. So let's go out and see what's going on. This is Cavallo and the crew that unfortunately gave us the COVID. Of course, it wasn't planned. They got it from another vessel. Lucky enough for them, they did not get sick, but they spread it to us, and then we spread it to Zephyrus. Zephyrus seems to be okay now, and we are slowly getting much better. This is good. We've had winds over 50 knots blowing. We have 3 lines ashore forward. So just gonna have a check on the lines here. Now look okay. We have 1 line going up this way that keeps our bow a little bit better into the wind. That has made a huge difference for us. So, and Cavallo is taking the hit here now and actually taking the edge of the waves, which is really good for us. I can't even stand up anymore. I have to sit down, otherwise I will blow up the deck. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, Wednesday, February 9, and we have finally left Port Lockroyd after 3-4 days with constant gale up to storm winds. We were logging 9 before, 48 knots of wind. Very tiring, especially considering our corona status. But now we're feeling a little bit better, and we are making our way up the Neumayer channel, and the plan is to go up to Enterprise Island today. It's a beautiful morning. You can imagine how bad it was out here just a few days ago, or yesterday as a matter of fact. Hello honey, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm feeling a little bit better today, so yeah, it feels like we got some strength back, and it's been really hard dealing with gale forces and with icebergs coming onto your boat, and be, you know, up in the middle of the night to take care of things when you have a fever. So I think this has been a real challenge for us. But now it feels better, and the sun is shining and we have a beautiful morning, so couldn't be better.
We're in the middle of humpback whales feeding right now. Woo! Look at this. They are very close. One of the rare occasions when we can actually do some sailing here in Antarctica. We are having the wind behind us, and we have wind. That is nice. So we could finally shut off the engine, just enjoy the view and the silence and the sound of the wave and the water instead of the engine. We've just passed Orne Harbor. Had a lot of humpback whales and also chin strap penguins for the first time today. So we are on our way to Trinity Island. Before that we are going to pass Emma Island. My daughter Emma, she has her own island down here. What do you think about the humpbacks, honey?
That was amazing. So close to the boat, and they are bigger than the boat.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They're not shy.
No, it's a good time to do whale watching in the morning, because then they have breakfast.
Yeah.
They are so beautiful.
Now we are on our way into Governor Governor Harbor on Enterprise Island. Some call it the only marina. There is an old rusty wreck here that you can tie up alongside, and that's what we are planning to do right now. I think we put fenders on the port side.
Aye, aye, sir.
Not much left of this boat. Well, after a quiet night and Kutik with Igor and his crew came in, we are now making a little turnaround here in Governor Harbor. Sydney, or Spirit of Sydney, came in. We met them a few weeks ago. They've been back to Port Williams, coming back with new passengers, and now they are tying up. So we are going outside them for the time being. And while we were waiting for this event, we got a present from one of the cruise ships. Got a bottle of bubbly.
Yeah, we got champagne for today.
Yeah, it was from the vessel Viking Octaneus.
Yeah, thank you so much.
From one Viking to another.
Yes.
And today we have a beautiful
Snowfall.
beautiful snowfall. It's really nice. And here comes our kind guardian angels delivering the champagne. They gave us a bottle. The Spirit of Sydney had one bottle. Probably Igor and Kutik had another bottle. So just gonna wait for Sydney here now to get the lines organized, and then we go up alongside them.
They go for kayak trip, and it was wind up to 50 knots.
Yeah.
They stuck on the beach for one night, and I said no more decide of you.
No,
No?
I decide.
Yeah, I
I'm the
decide,
captain,
and
yeah.
you can go of kayak and be a guide, but I can say you are going or not.
Yeah.
So
You're the captain. You're responsible.
Yeah.
no, it's they stuck on the land. They stuck for a night, 50 knots of wind.
Oh, that's not
Jeez.
funny. How was they when they came back?
It's good. I just was upset.
What's going on, honey?
Oh, I don't know. We met Spirit of Sydney. First we
Spirit
got
of
the...
Sydney was coming with I don't know if it's the right expression, but a shitload of fresh fruit.
Look at this avocados.
avocado and
And look.
yeah, but look at the liquor.
And the liquor, yeah.
We're gonna survive.
We're going to survive.
And you have prepared some nice hot chocolate.
And
with
look at
rum.
this. Cookies.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Oh my god.
All right, so we are on board the Spirit of Sydney,
Spirit of Sydney.
and we have met the most generous people in Antarctica. Yeah, it's been fantastic, especially after we've had a week of being sick in COVID, and we met you guys for the second time, and you were offering us a lot of nice stuff, and it's been fantastic to meet you. So can you talk a little bit about yourself, your names, and your experience, and how you ended up here in Antarctica?
I'm Eva. It's Wojciech in Poland.
Yeah, my full name is Wojciech, but common it's
So when
Woj.
did you marry, you said?
4 years ago,
4 years ago.
2018.
Mm-hmm.
So 3.5.
Where did you marry? Back home in Poland?
Yes, in Poland, but on the boat.
On the boat! Ah, of course!
Yeah, before the first trip in Antarctica.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was 4 years ago. So why we are here? Because we enjoyed this area. We was here first time 4 years ago, and we are coming back here. This season we did 3 Antarctic trips. This is the last one, this third trip. We are on the not the middle, but like 30% of the trip is already done.
Yeah.
We will see what will be the next some days. We meet you, and that is a big pleasure for us. And the question was why we are here. I think because we are love it, because you know.
How did you end up? What made you start sailing to Antarctica with paying guests? How did you? How did this thing start with sailing to
It was
Antarctica?
4 years ago, and we was talking, and oh, maybe we did a trip to Antarctica. Okay, how to do this? So we start to talk with people. We talk with Piotr Kuźniar from Poland, great captain, the best captain, Antarctica captain, on the Selma expeditions, and he gave us some tips. After that, he go here, and it start going. And next season we spend on the Selma with Piotr, and he just, you know, like a COVID. You know, he put us the Antarctica in our blood, and now the Antarctica is here, and it's not easy to say, oh, go away.
2 days ago, we had orcas.
Yeah.
2 meters.
Oh wow.
That's nice.
But yeah, big speed, amazing. You know?
So why we came here? Because
That's
we
all.
want.
Tell me about this boat.
Oh, this is a great boat, which was invited in 1985 launch in Australia by the Prime Minister of Australia for sailing around the world, the Bog Challenge. And they did it. They're sailing around the world. So this is our first season on this boat, but we enjoy it a lot. It's a very tough boat, and you know we are going.
Same.
So
And
how do
safe.
you find your guests? Do you have a website?
No,
or?
we are not doing this. We are a skipper, co-skipper,
First mate.
first mate. We are not organized.
Yeah.
So this
We
is
get
the
boat
owner of
and
the
take-
boat is doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We are just sailing.
So what are your dreams for the future?
Oh, the future plans? You know, there's a lot of future plans. But for sure we can tell that we want to cross the Northwest Passage. That is a plan to do. And
Around the world.
around the world. But we are not saying do it alone, do it with people. We will see.
So how old are you?
Ah,
31 in this year.
and this year 32. So I'm 1990 and she is 1991.
Well, just like our kids.
It's like our kids.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for letting us know a little bit more about yourself.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure for us.
So now we're going to look for some fur seals. There are also a bay here with some old whaling boats, wooden whaling boats on the shore. take a little break and see if we can get up on this gravel beach here. This is this is Foyn Harbor, Foynehavnen, the old Norwegian whaling and seal hunting harbor. Some remains. So we met this little fur seal here, and he's wondering if he thinks we are a little bit too close. We're about 15 meters away. These guys can be very, very fast, especially the bulls. I think this is a female, and she has no harem to protect or anything, so she's just a bit curious and cautious about our presence. You shouldn't go between the seal and the water line, because that's their escape route. Now we have come to the island named Trinity, or Isla Trinidad, depending on what language you prefer. And we are anchored in a bay called Mikkelsen Harbor on the south side of Trinity Island. And right now we're standing on a small island inside the bay called Bombay Island. Way out there you can see a sea wind at anchor, and the whole bay is surrounded by glaciers. You can hear the rumble from the glaciers every now and then. And here's a lot of remains from probably from the whale hunting industry. There is an old dory and a lot of whale bones everywhere, scattered on this beach. There is another piece of a boat. You can see all these backbone pieces. There's a piece of the head. Over here we have some fur seals. Resting. Seems like these seals are always resting. I don't seem to have a worry in the world. At least not nowadays when they're not hunted anymore. Hello, buddy. Hey, how are you doing? You good? Yeah. Yeah. Oof. And one thing that is very important when you're down here in Antarctica is to not take away any items from these islands. I can imagine how it must feel. You come down here, it's the journey of a lifetime, and you want some kind of genuine souvenir, and you pick a piece of bone or a piece of wood from these dories. The problem is that there are so many people down here, so eventually if that goes on, there will be nothing left. So that's why the rule is that you take out nothing, you just leave your footsteps behind at the most. So what you see here is now Gento penguin chicks that are molting. That means that their baby fluffy feathers are leaving their body, and they get their real feathers, the oily feathers that will keep them dry and warm in the water, because the fluffy baby feathers is good to keep them warm when they are sitting around and getting fed by their parents, but doesn't work in the water. Here we have some really curious fellows. some young chicks that haven't shedded their feathers yet. Quiet, dirty. But they are so curious. They are only a meter away from my legs. Yeah, this is a daycare center. I'm just sitting here and they're getting so close. And over there is a white sheatbill. Some call them shit eaters. They actually pick eatable stuff out of the penguin poo and then they feed their chicks with that. I have 2 chicks just around the corner here.
Daycare.
So this is the Armada de Argentina, the Argentinian Navy refuge hut. It was built here in the 1950s and still standing. Completely surrounded by penguin colonies. So on the snow here we have a couple of resting Weddell seals and they are making a very interesting noise. I don't know if it's when they are digesting the food, what it is, but it's like a high frequency pitch, almost like when you're trying to tune a shortwave radio. That wasn't shy. Well, guess we need to go back to the boat. The weather is turning a little bit nasty. So let's head back. Now we have left Trinity Island after 3 nights. It's been pretty windy. We had a lot of snow this night before we left. It must definitely be one of the most spectacular icebergs we ever sighted. It's enormous and it's sculptured in a way that is even more spectacular. It's gone on ground on the southwest corner here of Trinity Island. So, just about time in the afternoon of February 16, we are approaching the entrance to Deception Island, the infamous inlet of the name Neptune's Bellows. Here you can get both a lot of tidal streams and a lot of wind, one way or the other, through this opening here. And here the rock formations or the cliffs and the rock of this island is very different from the rest we've seen. This is typical volcanic rock. We're actually entering a semi-active volcano, and we are going straight into the old crater. It wasn't too long ago there was an eruption here. I believe it was in the 1960s. They have to evacuate all the personnel that was on the old base here. It's an old whaling station that has been used for other purposes in later years. And over here it's called Neptune's Window, the cut in the mountain there. There is another place where the wind can really go straight through. So we're just gonna find our anchorage for the next couple of few days here. Fortunately, it's going to be quite windy, first from the east and then from the west. So we need to secure ourselves. Well, another beautiful morning in Antarctica. We are currently at anchor in Stancombe Cove inside the Deception Island. And well, you can see for yourself, it's snowing horizontally. Boat is starting to get covered with snow again. And it's pretty windy, but it seems like we have good holding. There are some fur seals on the beach over there. They don't seem to care. I think we have a pretty good spot. Oh, I'm getting down. Well, after a very windy night in Stancombe Cove, Deception Island, we've moved down to Whalers Bay. The wind has decreased somewhat and it's going to turn from east to west, and we take the opportunity in this lull to explore some of the more intriguing places here on Deception Island. This is the old whaling station. There's a lot of ruins, remains from that era. You can see the tanks for the whale oil, all the different type of industrial gear to extract and boil the whale oil. That was the fuel back in the days before the mineral oil that we're using today was discovered. And that's probably pretty much what saved the whales from total extinction, because the whales were hunted furiously to get oil for mainly for burning, to create light and heat. possible to see on this film, but we are now in an area with some serious geothermal activity.
The water is really, really hot. It's like, you know, the warmest.
Yeah, it's bubbling.
Yeah, it's bubbling. Look at this.
Yeah.
And it's really hot. Feel it.
Oh wow. Oh jeez. This is like, what can it be? Maybe 50 degrees, I would
Yeah,
say.
I think so. Celsius.
Celsius. Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. So maybe
So that's
if you
where
dig a little hole, you can have your own bathtub.
Yeah, look at that.
Uh,
Wow. Yeah, like we said when we entered here, it's definitely active geothermal activity here.
yeah, and you can really tell that it's really hot water.
Yeah. There's some whaling boats over there. Should we get over there? Here's some old wooden boats left behind. It's interesting, they're all covered with a wooden deck as well. And there is a lot of fur seals hanging out here. Yeah. You're not too happy. I'm getting a little bit close. Sorry about that. I'm leaving. Don't worry. Sorry. Hopefully from this angle it's possible to see the volcanic heat, the vapor and steam created by the temperature difference from the, like, let's say 50 degrees hot water in the sand here and the not so very warm ocean water, which is probably around 2 to 4 degrees. So the night offered quite a deal of snowfall or sleet, and it's almost artistic how these mountains, these blackish brownish volcanic hills, have now been semi-covered with snow. So now we are on our way up to Neptune's window. Neptune's window. The sky is clearing up. See some blue patches, some sun is coming through the cloud. So that would probably mean that we have this wind shift from the strong easterly gale, and within hours now we're going to have a westerly wind that will increase. So we're just gonna spend maybe 1 or 2 more hours here, tops, and then take the boat back to our anchorage and secure ourselves for another few days of westerly gales. Well, life in Antarctica. So this is Neptune's window. So now we are up on the edge, and here it's very steep down to the ocean. Be very careful. It's not solid rock, it's has some sandy volcanic material mixed up with boulders and rocks of all sizes and shapes. Probably very unstable. Very dramatic. Down there is a black volcanic beach. Gonna start our descent down to the beach again. All the fur seals, and the sun is coming out, and that's nice. Susan is way down there already. So the reason why most of these buildings are standing in an angle and are basically falling down is that there was a volcanic eruption here with a consequential mud flow that had all the British personnel evacuated in the end of the 1960s. It was 2 eruptions, as a matter of fact, and finally in the end of the 60s they decided to abandon the base totally. Now these guys were not tourists, they were actually from the Argentina base. There is a Spanish base and an Argentina base that we passed yesterday. It looks almost new, and they're here for the day doing some research work, and then they're going back to the base tonight. We're now back in Stankov Cove. Yesterday we were in the outer basin here, but now we moved into this inner basin. Our bow is pointing more or less due west, and we are expecting a westerly gale for quite some time here, a few days. Today's Friday, and it looks like it's gonna continue until all the way into Wednesday, but things can change. But it feels like a very secure place. We have the anchor out in the wind direction, the expected wind direction. It's about 6 meters of water at the low water right now. We have 4 lines attached, 2 forward and 2 aft. So we're pretty much secured in the center of this bay here, which is a former crater, volcanic crater. So if I turn the camera around 180 degrees here, I'm pointing due west. As you can see, we have this slope here behind me now down to the bay. So that slope gonna act either as a windshield, or it's gonna just suck the air down into that bay. We have to see, but we hope for the best. So this is in the opposite direction from where the boat is pointing, into the island. Old volcanic craters, big hills of volcanic substrate like ash and stones and sand and whatnot. Very, very different from the rest of the islands we've seen here in Antarctica. It reminds us very much of Iceland, which is not strange because Iceland is also a volcanic island. This is how the shorelines are attached now to these boulders, and we've learned our lesson, as these lines are floating lines. If they are not secured by some kind of weight or something, they will actually lift off the rock if there is no tension when the water is rising and the boulder becomes under the waterline. So here we put up a bunch of rocks on the side to make sure that this line cannot float off the rock. And this thick line here is about 1 inch thick, or 25 millimeters. And the idea there is it's basically a sacrificial line. It's a loop of 5 meters, probably 4 with the ice there, and that is attached to a 1/2 inch or 12 mil polypropylene line. So the idea is that 12 mil, which is strong enough, it's a breaking load of about 2 metric tons, 2,000 kilos. That should not chafe against anything. And this 1 inch line here is taking the eventual chafing of the rocks and cliffs and stuff. And if that is getting too bad, we can easily just replace that one, and the long line is still intact. All right, everything seems okay. Everything's secure. My dinghy is way over there. Sea wind is out there. Looks good. Susan is cleaning up on the deck. She's always doing something, making sure that everything is good on board. That's what a good crew is all about. And and I love her so much. All right, Tani, what have you done?
Well, last night we had a really terrible night, and we ended up with a line in our propeller. So I've been down now and I took the line away from the propeller. Yeah. All this was in the propeller, so it wasn't easy for the propeller to work.
Now the propeller shaft is somewhat dislocated, so we have to pull that in and hope that everything works.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job, honey.
Well, it's a good thing to have a dry suit when you're in Antarctica.
I don't know. We couldn't fix this without the dry suit.
No.
That is obvious.
Yeah.
That we are in Tierra del Fuego again with the shifting weather systems. And in front of us here we have development of some sort. So we're just standing by here and just a lane with two reefs and see what happens. And we will continue on this course now for about 30 miles and then we turn west into the Beagle Channel and towards Port Williams. Hopefully we will be in Port Williams sometime tonight. So back in the Beagle. It's an absolutely beautiful evening. Right here, right now, there's no wind whatsoever. We're steaming. That's good because normally the wind comes from the west. We're heading west now and then it can hit you right in the face like it did when we came the first time. And on top of that, pretty stiff counter current. But right now, it's amazing. Look at this.